Alright guys, my name is Winston on Cowboy Ranch Life YouTube channel. If you haven't already, don't forget to go follow us on Instagram and also subscribe down below to see all of our videos that we put on. Today we're working on the 1990 Dodge first generation Cummins, and we've got a few issues, guys. We need to change the motor oil, we need to change the motor oil filter, we need to change the rear axle oil in the pumpkin, and then we also have brake leaking issues. So we're going to start on that, guys. So hang along for the ride. If you have any questions, don't forget to comment those down below. Also, if you have any tips on how to do this that would make it easier than what I did, please comment them down below, because I'm sure I'm going to be here in the future. And if not me, there's going to be someone watching this that needs to know that. So don't forget to comment that down below, and let's get started. Alright guys, so we're getting tore into things. We've got the rear axle tore apart in the hub assembly. We've got the pumpkin all tore apart, so we can re-put the oil in that since we just got done cleaning out with diesel fuel. So now we're going to get started on changing the engine oil while we're working at all this. Kind of getting started on it all, and then we'll complete it. I just need to get the hood adjusted. I got a friend of mine that offered to do that, and I should have took him up on it. So friend, if you're watching this, friend named Toby, I'm going to have to need to take you up on that. Anyway, there she is, guys, the pride and glory of the whole vehicle. Nevertheless, we're going to be changing the oil filter, which is down there. Right there, if you guys can see that. So we're going to be doing that. That's going to be hopefully not half hard to get into. And then also, we're going to be changing the oil, which the fill is right there, and the plugs underneath, which we're going to get to in a second. So without me talking anymore, and I hate for you guys to be in awe too long seeing this baby sitting in here, so we're going to get started. Alright guys, so we've got some diesel fuel here, and we're going to put this inside the engine, and run it for about a minute. We've got about a gallon. We're going to put a little less than a gallon in this engine, run it for about a minute, and then shut it off. Don't let it get hot, but putting the diesel fuel in there thins the oil enough that it'll run out quicker and also cleans your engine. So we do it, it's kind of an old mechanic's trick. It helps clean your engine. We actually did it last time I did this in here. It cleaned the engine. And it kept the engine oil brown for the first probably 8 to 10 months I ran this truck. So I'm not going to get excessive with it. Don't fill it up, but just put a good amount in there, and then we'll start it up, run it for about a minute, and then we'll shut it off and start draining. Alright guys, so as you can see, there's no blags or pauses in between that. I ran that in there. We just put red farm diesel fuel in it because there's no point in putting green in the engine just to get it all black, just to go put it into where all the rest of the waste oil goes. And so with that said, guys, we're going to start draining this, but we also need to change the filter. So let's get started. Alright guys, so to do this, I got my filter. There's not a specific kind I use. This is just the one that the local parts store sells. And then a filter wrench. I actually got to trying this before I showed it on camera to make sure I could even get it loose real halfway decent. And I got it loose with my hands, believe it or not. Which is good because it's almost impossible to get the filter wrench down in there. Also, on the newer trucks, these trucks from, I'm trying to remember the right years. I better not say. But these trucks typically use the same air or oil filter. If you see this, it's not octagon, I forget what it is, but it's all them different sides for a filter wrench. A special one that fits on the bottom. You have to have that. I know I have to have it for my 05, and you've definitely got to have it for the 6.7s to get into it. It's almost impossible with that type of a filter wrench. So just something heads up, if you've got a newer vehicle, make sure you get them with them flat sides on there so you can definitely use a filter wrench, which I'll get over here. I've just got done changing the oil on my 05. You can see that filter wrench, it fits right on there, and you can get it snug pretty darn easy with a little ratchet. So that's always something you must need. Also, after I put this on, and you guys aren't going to be able to see me actually put it on because unfortunately I have to have both hands for that, but always take some of your old oil and rub right around this rubber gasket and rub right in here by your threads. It makes it a lot easier to get your old filter off when you go to change it, and also keeps it from sticking up in there, that seal, because as you guys can see, that rubber seal does come out of there if I can peel it out with my fingers. But yeah, you can see it does come out of there, and you don't want it sticking up in the filter head. So always make sure to put old oil or just any kind of lubricant on that. I use old oil because it's what I've got around, but that ought to keep you lubed up for the next time, so it's easy extraction. Alright guys, so we're working on the brakes, and if you can see that, I put a new brake line from up in there all the way back, and I just bent it, put it to fit. It was leaking oil back in there behind the drum. Right there, if you guys can see that. And there's the new line. Up into that junction box. So guys, we got the brake line in. I'm hoping that's what it is. As you guys can see, it's dark 30 behind me. It's actually about 9:30. So I'm going to head on home. Whoa. Hey, you. Just thought I would tell you guys that this is not the end of the video, but just a part 1. So there will be more coming up. Also, that will complete the changing oil and filter on the truck, the brakes, making sure they are correct and working order, and the rear end is refilled with oil, and make sure everything's in working order there. So stay tuned for more, guys, on part 2. Alright, you can go back to talking. I'm going to need probably my brother to step in the cab and pump the brakes, and I watch back here to make sure we're not leaking anymore. I'm hoping that's what it is, and that I just took the hub all apart for nothing. If that is, then I'm going to do a dance for joy. If it's not, then I'm going to end up having to look into the brake cylinder and some of that stuff, which is not going to be fun. So stay tuned for that, guys, on part 2. This is the ending for part 1. As you can see, I've run out of daylight, and you guys have probably run out of time to watch me. So stay tuned, and the next couple days we'll get back to this, and we're going to see what else we can get accomplished on the old first gen. Hope you guys enjoyed.